Alright, so hear me out on this one. It might be far-fetched, but it really isn't that far-fetched. If you haven't seen the video that I made about a year ago on the original sequel trilogy that George Lucas had written, this is from the Star Wars Archives book written by Paul Duncan, where Paul Duncan interviewed George, I believe in 2019. Just a few years ago. This is the latest interview that we have with the man himself, the maker, about the sequel trilogy that he would have written. And it goes into extensive detail in the book, which I outlined in the video and gave my thoughts on. But essentially, Darth Maul returns, Luke is trying to band together a new Jedi Order, find new Force sensitives. Darth Maul has Darth Talon, there's a massive void in the galaxy, a vacuum because of the Emperor dying, and everyone is trying to create their own faction. We got crime lords, we got stormtroopers, we got patriots, they're all just trying to create their own sort of power in the galaxy because there is no real authority anymore like the Empire was or used to be. Now until Thrawn arrives, I suppose. So, where am I going with this? I think, with the heavy emphasis of Dathomir, the Night Sisters, Zabraks, with that, I think we could get the closest iteration to George Lucas's sequel trilogy, if they so wish, or if they want to go a completely different direction, that's fine too. But we could really get the closest iteration or rendition of George's sequels if the Night Sisters resurrect Darth Maul, which I hope they don't, but also I hope they do, because it's kind of cool. Now, they could create another Zabrak. Doesn't have to be Darth Maul, but I think that would be really akin to George's story that he wanted to do that was outlined in the Star Wars Archives, 1989, 2005. So what I'm thinking here is they resurrect not only Maul, but instead of Darth Talon, they resurrect Asajj Ventress. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, why do they keep resurrecting people? Just let them be dead, let their legacy die. Absolutely. But first of all, how cool would it freaking be if we actually got to see George Lucas's sequel trilogy as close as possible in Dave's style or vision? I would love that. I would love if Luke got to fight some sort of crazy, powerful Sith Lord Jedi. I mean, heck, yeah, Darth Maul would be dope, but he could be like some really powerful Zabrak Night Brother or something like that they create out of thin air. But Asajj Ventress, hear me out. Yeah, nice death, but lame death in Dark Disciple. She died because she was in love with Quinlan Vos, and she got in the way of Dooku's lightning, which was sent to kill Quinlan Vos, and she saved his life. She saved the man of her dreams, the love of her life's life, and she just dies. I think that character had so much potential. I think that character could have gone so many cool places, and now with Dathomir being resurrected and basically the flame being relit, I think there's a lot of promise, or at least potential, for Asajj Ventress to return. At the very least, they can create two new Dathomirian Zabrak creatures that are real badasses who will give Luke a very big run for his money. Now at this point, Luke is with Ben Solo, but he's like, I think 10 or something like that. He's very young, or 5 even. So it's like, there isn't much Ben could do, but just watch Luke, and maybe we could get things from his point of view. Personally, I think it would be absolutely amazing if we got to see Luke come back, return with maybe a band of new Jedi that he's found. Maybe some older guys too from Order 66. And I think it would be really cool to see like some badass Dark Jedi or Sith just fighting him. Like let's get some really cool fight scenes for once, with Luke and Darth Maul. I think that would be really insane. As well as seeing, some other creatures fight too, like the Night Sisters versus, Mandos and stuff like that. I think it would be pretty cool. They're using magic while they're in the air, and it would be a wild scene, that's for sure. A wild season or a movie, whatever it might be. So that's my thoughts on this. I really do think that this could potentially line us up for the closest thing to George Lucas's sequel trilogy that we have ever gotten. We just have to get over the fact that if they're going to resurrect Darth Maul, which they could, but I think he had a pretty good death the first time, but they brought him back for the Clone Wars, and then, killed him off in Rebels. But they could easily just go to Tatooine and resurrect him, using the Great Mother magic. So they could do that. They could do that with Asajj Ventress, and it would be pretty wild to see Asajj and Ahsoka once again. Just saying, I think it would be pretty neat. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want them to resurrect these beings or let them be dead and give us some new characters to play with? Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Check me out on Spotify and iTunes. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.